They say you can't love yourself. I mean, you can't love anyone else unless you love yourself, which is one of those statements I've kind of struggled with my entire life because it seems kind of, like a duh. But I never really was a ladies' man. I always seem to say the wrong things. I miss windows of opportunity. Sometimes I make a mistake of being seen in public with them. After many years, I thought, though, finally I'd found the one. But sadly, it was toxic. It started out by being told I would never have a chance with her, and my own cockiness, well, somehow, led to a relationship. I promised myself in the next relationship it wasn't going to be competitively mean. Instead, it was going to be competitively nice. And I was going to try and give that other person all the love I could possibly give them. So I got dragged out to see a local band, and lo and behold, there was my ex, and she was there with her new guy. Oh no, this is going to be torture. Watching her dance overtly with somebody else, well, suddenly an embrace from some angel saved me. It was the type of hug that you probably feel into the next life. It was this artsy girl that everyone thought that I should meet, and I had no interest in it all. So over the next few months, we felt the gentle breezes of falling in love, and it was one of those type of romances straight out of Titanic. We had amazing adventures. She inspired me, but then there was something just amiss. It was our mutual baggage. Jealousy arose like a demented bizarro phoenix from the ashes, and I didn't want her talking to her ex, and she didn't want me talking to mine. Well, eventually Halloween arrived, and the same band, we saw them again, and we had the most delicate, sweet kiss underneath the moonlight. And an hour later, we were yelling at each other about each other's exes. So I ran away, and I ran all the way to Oregon, where I had to come up with the perfect thing. So I went out to the beach, and I created a gigantic heart with her name in it. I was inspired by my grandfather, who every single year when it was winter and there was snow on the ground, he would go out and try and impress my grandmother by putting a giant heart in the backyard. So I'm like, I'm going to do this too. Well, I traveled all up and down the West Coast, California, Oregon, Washington, and I met artisans all along the way, and I told them my idea, and they helped me. So when I found myself at this particular espresso shop, I asked the young man if he could help me, and he jumped right on board. You could see this guy was like, I'm going to do it. And with the greatest of ease and the smoothness of the milk, he pours this beautiful heart. And when it comes to putting the name on it, he freaks out. And it took the female barista that was there to come up and be like, I got this. And with the greatest of ease and fearless heart, she just grabs a paintbrush and some chocolate and writes the name on out with no problems whatsoever. Well, I did find myself in Oregon. And I started getting new ideas and meeting new people, and eventually I found myself bringing Jess out to California with me. We had a great time. We saw all these amazing theme parks, and I got all these great ideas where I'd sneak into the theme park before she would ever get there, and I would hide things around the park and talk to people, and she would find little pieces of artwork amongst the vendors with the goods and things like that. So I was under this sort of a spell where I wanted to prove that love wasn't real. As if, being negative was going to prove anything. I wanted to prove that it was nothing more than a chemical reaction designed to make us procreate. I wanted to prove it was crap. And by doing all these amazing gestures, nothing was going to come out of it. And I was right. But, this is what did all this mean? Why was I doing all this? I knew at the very end I was going to make the final picture be a heart with my own name in it or saying that I love myself. But it became this thing where I was in the zone and I started finding these hearts everywhere. I would find them in a chink in the sidewalk. I would find them in some tusks at the tar pits in La Brea. And I'd become consumed with all of this. But as close as we started to get, we were also falling apart. And the love I was giving was no longer being met with equal exchange. It was being fled from. But it was also being requested. Everything had left us both confused in our feelings. I was done but didn't want to be, and she was done but didn't want to be. And I had created this amount of pressure that crushed everything we had left. And I did love me, but if I really did love me, I would be a fireball of positive thoughts and silver linings. I'd love myself. And if I loved myself, I would be not having a problem with everybody else's self-esteem issues, which oftentimes we misread as something against us. And it becomes this great, gigantic snowball of hatred rolling down a mountain, just waiting for a delicious little village of love to crush. But, you know, you never know when a future is going to come. It's like my Oma always said, Anthony, there is not a handful of men and women in the world. There is a landful. Thank you.